Welcome everyone. Today we got a brand new episode. This is episode 98 of season 3, our first interview segment. Today we're joined with Kevin Zhu, a very good friend of me and Darian's. And today we'll just be going into like some of the things that he's been doing, some of his background, and the things that he's passionate about. But yeah, so to go on with some updates on everything so far, we got some episodes lined up in the future. We're still working at perfecting everything and putting up everything on our Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. And yeah, let's just dive into to Kevin Zhu right here. So I'll just give a little bit of a brief introduction. Kevin has been a good friend of ours for a long time now, and he's inspired me in a lot of different ways and provided a lot of insight for my life as well. So having him on the podcast like means a lot to me, and it's a big deal. But yeah, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Just tell the audience a little bit about what you do.
So hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. Like Jaylin mentioned, my name is Kevin. I've been friends with Jaylin for a long time, and with Darian as well since like elementary school. And yeah, so I'm currently a rising sophomore at Brown. I'm planning to concentrate in applied math and economics, and currently this is like over the summer of 2025. So I'm working on some like remote internships. I'm doing tutoring. And in my free time, I go to the gym, I play pickleball, I hang out with friends. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, that was definitely a good intro. But yeah, no, you're definitely keeping busy this summer. I feel like, for as college students, it's very important to just like stay busy and making sure that we're utilizing our summers to the fullest because like after this, it's just, we're going into the real world with like real jobs and real opportunities. So yeah, you mentioned that some of the things you've been doing this summer is your internships. So what are some of the things that like specifics about like what you're doing with those internships?
Yeah, of course. So my biggest internship right now is Scurry Consulting, and Mason Scurry is actually a recent graduate at Brown, and he has founded Scurry Consulting, which is customer acquisition consulting. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I do plan to go into strategy consulting in the future. And as I was searching for a lot of internships, I came across Scurry, and I realized that it really aligned with my goals and provided the real world professional experience in which I was able to not only interact with clients, but also get involved in like Excel spreadsheets
Hmm.
and like doing, GTM strategy tests, which is like go to market strategy stuff. And I was also exposed to, just like talking to clients and being on client calls and just really like seeing the impact that consulting has on like smaller businesses. So that's my first internship, and it's the biggest one I spent the most time on.
Hmm.
The second one is Karmato, which is a strategy intern, which I am a strategy intern. And this is actually something that Darian sent me like a whole Excel spreadsheet on. And then yeah, it was like when we were both applying to internships like crazy, he sent me this whole thing from like Cornell Dyson, in which there are a lot of potential internship opportunities. And again, I was like thinking that I want to go into strategy consulting. So I wanted to combine the experience from the customer acquisition consulting and this part where I can, really be involved in like the strategy side. And yeah, so that's a little bit about Karmato. Both are like remote internships. And my third one, which is also a remote internship, it is Beyond Us and Dumb. I'm working for a nonprofit which actually helps with reentry. And what that is like basically like people, incarcerated individuals who are like they just left like jail and then they were like recently, incarcerated. So they have there's this like Beyond Us and Them is like this organization that really provides like different like care and then needs to them. And it's really has like that organization where you are involved with everyone else who is also in like the same stage at their life, and then you can really form like deep bonds. So I'm working as like a business development intern for Beyond Us and Dumb, and that is more like I'm just like for their like business proposals in which they want to request like funding from like other bigger corporations, and or even like form partnerships with different like organizations. Like there would be like a lot of business proposals that we have to make, and then my task is to use like my applied math skills and then really like add a lot of numbers to the business proposal so that it sticks out, it's concise, and it's like direct, so that it really catches like the reader's attention. So yeah, those are my 3 internships I've been working on.
Oh wow, man. A lot of people our age don't even land one internship, but you were able to like secure three, which is very impressive. And it just kind of goes to show that, you're very hardworking and you've honestly just been doing a lot to keep yourself busy and just gaining experiences in all the fields that you can see as like a possibility in your future. Yeah, I feel like all three of them like stand out in their own unique way, with like the mission just really aligning to like what you want to do in the future. But like out of the three, which one would you say you could see yourself doing the most? Because like they all are entail like something different.
That's a great question. I feel like it's definitely scary consulting because even though like I feel like it's just more direct like consulting experience compared to the other ones, because like I like for Karmado it was very interesting like working on all of like the strategy tasks, and then for Beyond Us and Dumb like adding numbers to business proposals is like it I had to like utilize Excel skills as well. But for Scurry Consulting, I really had like direct exposure to different clients, and I really had experience with like how like spontaneous the work life is, because I'm always hopping on calls with like different clients doing different kinds of work. And that's a big thing that I really enjoy about consulting, that it's not like really routine, and how you are really being exposed to an environment where you can interact with a lot of different clients with from like diverse backgrounds, and just like learn a lot from them. And also, like as you were saying before, like I do like the 3 internships were like like I get that it's like hard finding one internship, but the thing is like I remember when I was just like crazy applying to everything, and I just like didn't know what like what results or like what applications went through, and ultimately secured the internship. So as I was like really applying to stuff, which is like over the same time, I realized that I didn't expect myself to be like having like 3 internships over the summer. So yeah, and then now I'm like really just trying to balance it.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. I mean, each one, like you said, like the main one is the Scurry Consulting one, which is like the biggest time commitment, but then the other two are like less so. But yeah, no, it's good that you're keeping up with that. And I really do gotta agree with you on the fact that like, just interacting with different people and, just being able to like see so many different people from diverse backgrounds and chatting with them and not just doing the same thing every day. Because like I feel like a lot of jobs, it's just, you stare at a computer screen, you just like do the same task. And honestly, it just like doesn't feel so fulfilling. But the jobs where you get to interact with different people and every day is like a different day because of the different interactions you're having, it just makes it more fun and fulfilling. And for me, for like when I'm doing sales, I feel like it's similar as well because I'm able to interact with like different customers and like have meaningful conversations and make meaningful relationships as well. So I really do gotta agree with you on like that aspect of the job, and it's something that I want to kind of strive for in the future as well.
So how about you, man? How do you like sales?
Sales, man. I feel like in the beginning it's definitely tough. You have to really know like the product knowledge and be confident in like the stuff you're selling, because like if you don't give off the energy that you know what you're selling, then the customer is not going to want to buy from you, because like you have to assess their situation, see like what works for them. But overall, I think that it's really it's like an art, selling is not, it's not that easy. You really have to learn the art of selling and being able to like help customers in any way you can. And I think a big part of it is, you know, most of the time in sales, people look at it like, it's a product that will like sell itself. But it's really like you have to sell yourself first, and then if people like you, then they'll buy your product. And it's like a lot that I've been learning. Right now, it's been like 5 weeks or 6 weeks since I started the sales thing. And, it's still been tough. Still been learning a lot about what I'm selling. And just interacting with different customers just teaches me a lot. But I think it's something that everyone should try at least once in their life because, like, in every single business, there's an aspect of sales in there. Have you ever had any experience with sales?
No, I don't. I'm like thinking back, and I was like, no, not really. I mean, like, I've had experience, I guess, like selling myself to
Yeah.
like different, like to like parents, because like as I mentioned before, I do tutoring as well,
Hmm.
and then it's like when you are first starting off and you're trying to get new clients, you would really have to sell yourself as in like, oh, how are you a good tutor for my child? Like, how are you like a good match for him and her? How do you like really transfer all of your knowledge to him and her, it's like you have to it's one thing being like really smart and like very educated, and it's like another thing to really be able to communicate that information effectively to another person. So I feel like, you know like as you mentioned, like with like selling and stuff, it's like before, when I had to first like get like my client base, I would have to really show that I have experience teaching, that I have
Hmm.
like certifications, and that I really enjoy teaching, and I will like make them grow like over the years, whether it's like academically or like personally as well. So it's like I had to like encompass like that trust that the parents were looking for, and it really, you know, sell myself to the new
Hmm.
clients. So yeah.
Yeah. I know it definitely shows because like you have a bunch of clients that are very happy with the service that you're providing them. And not only did you kind of like sell yourself and show them like the best version, yeah, it goes to show that like what you're talking about and like what you're selling. Like that's a big part. They trust you, they like you as a person, and then that goes a long way too because like then they can refer you to their friends, their family that also needs like help. And then I think just like building relationships is very big in sales. But I also got to say like, when we're doing these interviews for like internships and everything, we have to sell ourselves during the interviews. It's like it's related to sales as well because in the interviews you have to like show the best version of yourself. You have to like explain like why you're a really good fit for this position and just be likable as well. It's like all part of like sales. But I'd say like especially starting your own business as well because like we're going to be interviewing a lot of different people that are like entrepreneurs trying to like do their own startups. The art of selling there is also very important. So I'd say it's very applicable. But yeah, anyhow, besides sales, like yeah, let's go into a little deeper about your tutoring business and what you've done there. So yeah, explain how you got into tutoring. What makes you so passionate about teaching, and what inspired you to get started in the first place.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And this is like genuinely something I enjoy talking about as well, because
Mhm.
it's something that I've been passionate in. And I've discovered that passion like pretty early on. When I remember like I remember always like bring this story up to like other people when they ask about like my tutoring journey too. Like when I was in third grade, I would always like teach my grandma like English. It's like she is a native Chinese speaker, and she doesn't know like any English. And then how, after her like moving here, it would be really helpful for her to just like know like simple phrases, right? And like simple vocabulary. And then
Mhm.
so I would really dedicate my time and effort. I would like make the course out for her. I would give her tests, like quizzes and stuff. And yeah, I went above and beyond. I was like, it wasn't just like simple, like I'll teach you a vocab word like every single day or something. I made her like write it. I made her like do sentences. And then it was something that like she enjoyed and I enjoyed as well. That I
Mhm.
felt like it was beneficial for both of us, and how I really just like enjoy like getting that knowledge to another person and then like seeing them grow over the years. I know that's like
Yeah.
really cliche for like a lot of tutors, but like I genuinely enjoy seeing like, you know, their happy faces when they like realize the growth themselves. And yeah, and then them like coming to me and be like, oh, like this is so helpful. Like you could actually like guide me so much throughout like my academic journey. And
Yeah.
yeah, so from like early on, I realized that I just enjoy like helping people, teaching others, like just getting my knowledge to other people.
Hmm.
And then like I really want to start tutoring, but I didn't know how to. So at first it was actually my grandma who like from her like from like family friends. They were like, you know, she had friends who had like grandson, granddaughters and who like wanted tutoring services. And then I would just like start off with like practice lessons. Or no, even before that, there's like nonprofit organizations called like Board of Boredom and also one affiliated with my high school, like Herrick's High School. So there was Herrick's Connected and also Border Boredom, in which there were nonprofit tutoring services in which we provided like virtual tutoring to like underprivileged students in like third world countries. And then so that really exposed me to like making my own lessons, to presenting in front of like a group of people, to have like one-on-one lessons, to really like, you know, develop my skills in tutoring, not only like, you know, Chinese, no, sorry, English, but also like math, you know, science, reading and writing. And yeah, and then from that time, I realized that, or no, I gained experience with tutoring. And then I went into like, I actually wanted to get students. And that was when like my grandma realized that she had connections. And yeah, like so like her friends, like grandson, granddaughters came to me for practice lessons at first. And then they realized that, you know, that I kind of like knew how to do it. That I was just like starting off, and then it was pretty effective for them as well. And then I realized that like from all of these lessons that I just enjoy like presenting that information. I like yapping, I like talking, and I like just again like really seeing their like academic growth over the years. And so as I was touring more and more in the library with at first like the initial connections, then like there were actually people who like came up to me during my lessons or even after my lessons, and they were like, "Oh, I see you here like tutoring every Saturday. You tutor, you come here very often. Like, can I like give you my contact information? Can I like, you know, do you still have time for like more students?" And I was like initially so happy to hear that because I was like, oh, like this is surprising. I didn't expect people to actually come up to me during my lessons. And then they're just like, oh yeah, I see you tutoring here so often. And then like there's one person who was like, oh, you really get the information. I really like how you approach your structure approach to students. And so I like that stood out to me and I just like got more students from that. And yeah, so there was just like more one-on-ones from then as well. And then like in addition to the one-on-one lessons, I wanted to make my tutoring impact like bigger as well. So that later emerged into summer math classes. So this was when I realized that I still like, even though there are more and more students for one-on-ones, like I still didn't have enough for like actual classes. So I had to like literally print out flyers, go around, really sell myself again. And then like I wanted to get more students so that I can have summer math classes such as like intro to pre-algebra and like fractions and decimals. And yeah, so there was a lot of like word to mouth. There was a lot of different like styles of marketing in which I was able to get even a bigger client base and have like three different classes with like 5 to 6 students each. And I was able to have like an official classroom with a whiteboard. And yeah, so that was like for a whole summer 2024. No,
Hmm.
was it no, some 2023.
2020, 2023. Yeah, yeah, 2023. There you
Yes,
go.
it was 2023. So yeah, that was a big thing to me because I emerged from like one-on-one lessons to, and there were some like one-on-two lessons between that as well, and then to like group classes like called fractions decimals and like intro to pre-algebra. And then I was like, okay, I'm doing one-on-one lessons, I'm doing group classes. I should start a tutoring program. So that's when I realized that like, oh, there were a lot of other friends who are like tutoring as well. And then so I just like, you know, asked Jaylin. as Darian, as another friend Dylan, and then we just like started this whole like tutoring program called Academics, and then we were able to like donate 80% of our profit to their world and partner with like Global Business Coalition for Education and really like broaden our impact to something that's like worldwide. So yeah, so that was like basically my tutoring journey. That was, and I still tutor to this day, like every Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. So yeah, and I do enjoy doing it. I feel like I'm exposing myself to a lot of like different people, and they're happy coming to my classes every day.
Yeah. I think the way you explained your passion for tutoring was beautiful. Like how you started off, with your grandma teaching her English. That was like a very nice way that you explained it. And then just your whole growth from starting off with that and then going into, doing this whole program and got academics. That's a very big deal. But yeah, I think like, when there's passion, people can see that and people like that, and that'll transfer into just like more business, um, more potential clients. And yeah, overall, I think it's just great to do something that feels fulfilling to you. And it's almost like you're giving back to the community as well. You're teaching these kids and you started off with yeah, just like donating the proceeds and doing it for free under these nonprofits, which is just a really nice thing to do for the community. But yeah, like you said, you started like growing your whole brand into like academics and making it broader and having a larger impact on the world. Do you plan to keep scaling it? And like I feel like there's like a lot of opportunity for growth here. Did you ever think about, just getting people on board and then having that as a chance to make passive income at some point?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do continue with academics now, and I don't know. I feel like recently, because I've been like really involved with like pre-professional stuff, and I do realize that like although I really enjoy teaching, that I do want to explore like other fields because like there's like a big thing that I realized that it's so much easier going into teaching than like coming out of teaching and then like finding another profession. Like what I mean by that is like it's easier like going having like another profession right out of college and then going into like transitioning into teaching rather than you have like a major in like education and then you want to go into like consulting or something like that. So I realized that really do want to explore like other fields as well, and then how teaching is always like a backup plan or like in the back of my head that it's something that I am passionate in. But like recently I realized that like teaching transfers a lot to consulting as well. Like how you're just like, interacting with different clients, really like telling them what to do like step by step and really positioning yourself in which you're making an impact on like their small business or like, their organization. And yeah, so as I'm like really into like professional stuff right now, such as like case studies and like really mastering the technicals, I realized that I started to like think less about like the tutoring business, the academics, and then like all of the whole future and just like me becoming like a professor or like a teacher. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, yeah, a good amount. I think yeah, it's
Does it?
you're exploring different options and I kind of understand that, you're trying to pivot in a different direction. But yeah, it's good that you're still doing it on the side. I think like what I was trying to get from you was like just like having this on the side because like, you start academics, you're still kind of keeping it going. But in terms of like hiring people like under you to tutor under kind of your name of academics and
Mm,
then, having it scale so that,
mm,
you're
mm,
still having your name of academics and producing a side of passive income because like I know some of our audience,
mm,
like I said, are into like startups and business and doing being an owner for like their own company. So did
mm.
you ever think about something like that?
Okay, now I understand your question. So yes, at some point when I was like really into academics, like summer of 2023, And now, like genuinely, like it's because I don't have like way too many students to do that. Like I have 8 students currently, which is like I don't know, it's like a decent number. It's like the max number I can like handle like throughout a week. 2 lessons Monday, 2 lessons Tuesday, and then 4 lessons on Saturday. But it's not like I have like 20 students in which I'm able to like give it to other people and then be like, okay, tutor under me, and then give some X number of percentage of like profit to me or something. So yeah, I feel like right now I'm not at this stage to do so. But like in the future, if I do get like more and more students, it is something I will think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a definitely a lot of potential with academics. And you've been building such a reputation that people love the service that you provide. They really trust what you do for their kids. And yeah, I think like if you bring on the right people onto your team, like that same trust, even though it's not you, could still be instilled in like all the lessons that you're providing under academics. But yeah, I think it's like such an incredible story. Not every, person like in high school, college thinks about something like this to do. So I feel like it's a very unique story that you have going on here. But yeah, why don't we transition into like college life? And yeah, you mentioned that you're at Brown right now. So yeah, how's everything been going at Brown?
It's chill. It definitely lives up to the stereotype that people have. Actually, no, that's not completely true. Like the stereotype that people have about Brown is that it's very chill, that people are very laxed. Like people are just like, happy, like there's like great inflation, people don't care too much about academics, and then they still have a lot going on for them. And they enjoy life, they live life to the fullest. They are living happily in college years. That is a stereotype that is 100% true. Like you get the vibes there. Like you feel that everyone is chill. Like you genuinely feel that people want to make friends. Even like after like first semester or like after O weekend, orientation weekend, all of that stuff. It's like you're going to second semester, you're settling down, people have friend groups, but they are still very like open to meeting everyone, to making new friends, new connections, talking to new people. They're actually genuinely very open to that. Um, the stereotype that Brown does not live up to is that the dorms are terrible. Okay, people think the dorms are terrible and the food is bad. Like, that's not true. Like, my freshman dorm is like, it's 270 square feet. It's a dingle, which is the double and a single, which means that there's literally a wall between like me and my roommate in like a size of like a huge double. So, like, that's pretty good. Like, maybe I got lucked out, but like generally the dorms that I visited are pretty clean, are pretty spacious. It's not bad. I mean, obviously there's a reason why that reputation is there because there is like a place called Perkins, and that place is not too nice at all. Like the dorms are small, like the conditions are not too good. It's really far away from like the rest of campus as well. But
Mhm.
like overall, I would say that dorms were not a disappointment to me. The food, like sometimes, yeah, it is a disappointment, but like I'm never like complaining. It's like it's edible. It's it's like sometimes the food's really good. There's like this dining hall called Andrews that consistently has like good quality food, even though it's like far away from me. Like that place genuinely has like consistent quality food every day. And I mean, like the Ratty or like the Sharp Refectory, that place can be like wishy-washy sometimes. Like there are definitely good days with like fried calamari and like New York style cheesecake. But like there are definitely some days with like dry ass chicken, that like people just leave on their plates and then just toss out. But but
I don't
overall it's fine. Overall, nothing to complain about.
I don't sound too bad, man. Like calamari. Bro, I feel like, at Bing, the food is like on the border of like edible and not edible.
No, but like it's okay. Calamari is okay. Like it's like it's like good because it's calamari, but the way that they make it, it's like some like soggy sometimes, but it's okay. Flavor's
Oh,
there.
oh man. Yeah, I gotta come check it out one of these days. And like the whole environment on campus, it just sounds very nice. And like not every school has that welcoming community where everyone's trying to meet each other. I think that's just a wonderful thing to always just keep expanding your network. And it's something that you've been doing for sure at Brown. In terms of like Ivy Leagues and then regular schools, do you feel like, going to an Ivy League, you're getting a lot more benefits than like compared to if you were to go to just, some average school?
It's like harder for me to answer this question because like I don't know like what it's like going to non Ivy schools. I haven't been in like that like situation. Um, but I mean just like listening from like just like friends and like their experiences, it's like it's not like completely two different places. I wouldn't say that, it's like, oh my God, wow, he's going to like an Ivy League school. And then it's like, oh, he's not going to an Ivy League school. I feel like schools are schools. Like they give you that leg up, like they give you the education. It's not like the physics taught at Bing is different from the physics taught at Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like it's physics, and it's not like stuff is like a lot harder or something. It's a lot more complicated. You're still receiving the education, and then you're still being like provided with like that environment where everyone is just trying to grow like academically, like grow socially, and then just be exposed to like this new chapter in their lives.
Hmm.
I feel like there might be a difference in terms of like the exposure to resources.
Yeah.
As in, like, it is true that Ivies, they do have a lot of resources that are available to students, and they make that known. The way how I found like two of my internships was because like we had like this whole like Brown Connects website in which we were able to like literally connect students with like different internships to apply to. And yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that like non-IUs like don't have like these pages or these websites, but I'm kind of saying that like how like Brown does have like really Brown does make that known to students, you know.
Hmm.
And also, I just feel like I don't like I guess like the vibe could be a little bit different. As in, like, it is true that like people are very driven, as they have a lot going on for them. Like every single person, they might act like they don't care too much about like their academics. They might act like really chill and like fun to hang out with. And then it's like those people who you just like don't expect them to be like so like driven and academically like talented, smart that they are. So like it's like that environment where you're with those kind of people, it makes you more productive for sure. It makes you like want to be more like them and look up to them. So
Hmm.
yeah, I guess that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like over the long term, surrounding yourself like for 4 years with that environment will make a big difference on you and your trajectory in the future. But I feel like a lot of people that I know sometimes say like, it's not the college you go to, but more like how you utilize everything around you. And it's really just like you and how like just like the energy and effort that you're putting into your future. But and then going on with what you were saying about, how everyone's driven, I feel like if everyone is driven and you're surrounding yourself with those people, like you are the average of the five closest people that you're with. So like, when you're surrounded by driven people around you, then like in turn that makes you a driven person as well. So I think like initially, even though that some of these other schools might not have like as many resources or as good as resources, like over the long term, I feel like you will see a difference between I feel like on average you'll see a difference in between like Ivy League students and then non-Ivy League students. So that's my take. But I
That's
don't
not
know.
true.
I
That's
feel
not
like it depends. Oh, that's not true?
that's not true.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some
Depends on the person.
outliers, but on average.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sure, on average, like generally speaking.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely like, a lot of people just like, your friend Anderson. Like,
Right.
it's just like they just can't. I mean, Ivy, it's like expensive, and there's like they have every reason to just go to like a cheaper state school to save money and then like maybe get like a master's at like a more like prestigious, famous school. I mean, like it's what you make out of it. It's like
Yeah.
education is education.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with you on that. But yeah, I feel like Ivy Leagues also are more selective with the professors and just like their whole faculty too. So like that in turn could make a difference as well. But yeah, I mean, it is what you make of it. And I feel like, just like everyone around me, there's a lot of people that aren't so serious about their future, but there's definitely a couple that stand out to me that are serious about like what they're planning to do and are driven to like achieve their goals. And I try to surround myself with those people, and then in turn, I hope to become one of those people as well.
See, like you got one of the outliers right here. Am I right?
Uh, yeah. Okay. So I got one last question for you, Kevin. I know it's running late right now, but a big thing about being successful and like just having a life where you're happy, it's like having good habits and making sure that every single day that you're doing something. I think it's important to like build good systems around you and making sure that you're consistent with the stuff that you do. So are there any like habits that are important to you that you feel like made you into the person that you are today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like that's a great ending question. It's really helpful to stick to a routine, as much as I said about how like I do enjoy being spontaneous. I do like spontaneous like work life, meeting different clients. Like a routine could make you feel like so productive. Habits that I stick to, I always get my work done like before like I guess like playing games or like watching Netflix. And that's something I feel like I've always done throughout like, high school, like just like throughout the years. Because that was something that like my parents really instilled in me when I was like really young. It's like, oh, you gotta finish that before you do other stuff. And it's like I guess like sometimes when like I get like stressed and it's like too much and like there are times where I like fell out of the loop and out of the habit. But generally that's something I stick to. Um Other habits, I brush my teeth every day.
Well, that's a great one, man. I'm sure a lot of people don't
Shower
do that one.
shower, once 2 days. No, I'm kidding, guys. I shower every day. I'm not a CS major.
What?
All right.
No,
Well,
yeah, those are definitely some good habits. I think the first one is very important. Like I heard something about like the productivity window. I'm like that initial window is very important to get your stuff done there because your mind is focused and is ready to do the work. But right out of that window, it's hard to be as motivated and driven to continue on with like what's important rather than like what's fun. But the other stuff, yeah, it's important as well. But I think yeah, for sure, like brushing your teeth and showering
all
does help
right.
you with a successful future.
All right. All
But
right.
yeah, so like, today, this episode, it was only the tip of the iceberg of Kevin Zhu. It's
I
only
know.
a
I
little
got
bit,
more to say.
huh? You
I got
got
more to say.
more.
I thought of more
Okay,
habits.
okay, got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
hit me.
Okay. Recently, I wouldn't say this is a long time habit, but it's a recent like summer habit that I found to be like very helpful, and it has been like making my days very productive. It's like getting up earlier.
Mm.
Like getting up earlier, I have not been doing that like throughout college. Sometimes I don't have morning classes, I sleep until like 10 or like 11ish. And then like now, like I feel like when I'm getting up early and then just like sleeping earlier, it has been just making my days feel like so much longer. And then get up early, make myself breakfast, the same breakfast every day. And then it's like that's like the routine, and I like do really enjoy that routine. And um go to the gym like right after. And then get when I get back, I pick up some lunch and then I would be working on my internship stuff. So I feel like my days have been like very productive and very long because solely that I'm like getting up earlier and getting my work done. And then
Mhm.
like, using Google Calendar. Maybe that's another habit too. Google Calendar, really helpful, or any types of calendars.
Yeah, so Google Calendar, like you're scheduling
Yeah,
stuff, blocking stuff out. Hmm?
time block your day out.
Yeah, yeah, those are some good tips for people listening. What time do you usually wake up?
See, my alarm is set for 8, but I wake up at 8:30.
Yeah, 8:30 is early, a lot of stuff that you could get done early in the morning. And I gotta say, like what is it? Your motivation to go to the gym, like you don't miss a day, even though sometimes it's rough to go to the gym. You make sure that you have the time to go and you stick by that schedule, which is something that's very important. I think a big thing with progress and like growing in a field is consistently putting in effort and work into that, like every single day. And like that's when you see progress, It's not about like that initial spark that you have to get something done. It's about like maintaining the consistent work that you're doing to get better at your goals so that you can one day achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, those are some great habits that you've built, Kevin. But yeah,
Thank
like I was saying, this is only the tip of the iceberg of Kevin. There's like still like so much more about him that's, amazing. And hopefully Darian will get into that in a future episode. But yeah, I gotta say, I appreciate your time hopping on the podcast and sharing your story, man. Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right, this concludes episode 98. Thank you everyone for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.